Hello, all, and welcome to this Friday afternoon. Well, actually, it's evening time already since it's 6 p.m. This Friday evening beer review, which I am dubbing the Holy Shit Review. Damn, it was a really bad Friday for a whole multitude of reasons, both with my car and with work. I really need another job. I mean, I hate my job so much. There is like almost, other than like the food and the fact that chickens are there, there is like very little that's redeeming to it in terms of like workplace environment, location, physical grounds, the whole gamut, co-workers, etc., etc. It's just so unpleasant. That's why there's beer. And what is the beer that we are reviewing? Well, I picked this up on a whim. I had to go and, well, I'll tell the other story later because you already know that I go and digress a ton. But anyways, while I was at the store picking up something else, I saw this 2023 Bigfoot. I missed 2022. And I had to go out of my way to find 2021. So, I'm not as religiously following this as I used to. I might keep a bottle or two, to age, but I kind of think I found out the limits of how long you can age these, which is 2 to 3 years, depending. So after that, it just becomes really bland and almost stale tasting. It might be an artifact of the fact that I'm just keeping these inside of my refrigerator. I'm pretty sure that's not the ideal way you're supposed to be storing these, standing up in your refrigerator, but it is what it is. I don't have an. I live in Hawaii. I can't go and find like a cool, dark place to store these. So this was packaged on 1/19/23, so January. So still fairly fresh as it's still March. And let's read the back now, shall we? Even though it's the same verbiage year after year. It's tradition. Extreme in the 80s and a force of flavor today, Bigfoot is a timeless beast of a beer, forever tracked for its enormous malt body and sheer hop intensity. Drink it fresh or cellar each year's expedition to unleash a world of new flavors over time. And it does. You definitely should go and cellar this beer. Your mileage might vary. You might find it interesting after 5 or 6 years, or maybe you might be storing it better than I am. So, see here, what's the ABV? I haven't memorized the ABV yet. 9.6 ABV. I don't believe they really change the recipe from year to year like some companies do with their special limited releases. But, you know, I don't know for sure, but it's always good to go and revisit old friends, especially friends that you've missed visiting a year ago. I have a lot of things to review, folks. So, well, it wants to do that, so might as well give you a close-up of the art. Come on. Come on. Oh, back here. Back here. Back here, camera. This is what we live with, folks. This is what we live with. And it is what it is. We're going to pour it out. You get to see it up close and personal poured out since my camera has decided it wants to be close up. So here. You want to be close up, camera? Then do something for your country. Give them that nice, beautiful pour footage. Okay, yeah, I'm doing it a little bit too rough. Forgot that this one tends to. That's what's so interesting about Sierra Nevada. They're high gravity beers. A lot of other companies, even really good craft brewers, their high gravity beers don't really form much head. Sierra Nevada, they never fail to form a lot of head. Same sort of ruby amber color, orange where the light goes through, with, of course, off-white to beige head. Oh, it really wants me to get close, see? Whee! Okay, let's draw back a little bit, draw back a little bit more. Maybe we do this slowly. There we go. Got that great West Coast style Mm. Pine needles. Hints of citrus, and with it, just a thick caramel, toffee, malt body. Almost beyond biscuity, pancakey almost. Pine needle pancake. Yeah, and it was always so wonderful. Now, this is almost certainly going to go and trigger my intolerances, and I'm going to be regretting this tomorrow. But, hey, you only live once, and you know what? Work already has me feeling like shit. I'm going to feel like shit even if I'm 100%. Well, 100% physically, you know what I mean? Ugh. This job just wreaks havoc on my mental health so badly. It's just so relentlessly dysfunctional and negative. I mean, I've had like harder jobs before, jobs where I've worked graveyard shift, jobs where I really had to bust ass and labor, jobs where I failed repeatedly because I just wasn't up to the task. And none of it was as erosive to my mental well being as this job currently is. To the point where it's affecting my relationship with alcohol. I'm starting to feel like I'm no longer drinking for pleasure at certain points, and I'm drinking to get away from things, which is kind of scary and not something I'm happy with. But let's get back to happiness. Keep sweet, please. You know? Okay, on to the palate now, shall we? Mm. Yeah, up front you get some hot bitterness and sort of malty sweetness, caramel malty sweetness. Maltiness kind of descends in the mids, leaving a resiny bitterness in the long finish. Just a ghost of sweetness as well. Doesn't quite completely clear the finish. And while you have that bitterness on your tongue, it's not overly tannic. You don't feel dried out by it. Yeah, this is always satisfying. You know, barley wine isn't particularly a beer style that I gravitate towards, as regular watchers of this channel know. I am more of a session style drinker. I prefer lighter bodied beers I can have multiple of rather than these big, heavy gut bombs, for lack of a better word. Did you know that this particular beer has as much calories as a Big Mac? Actually, no, I think more like a quarter pounder with cheese, than double quarter pounder with cheese, maybe. So I believe it's just like, I can't remember if it's 560 calories or 650 calories, but it's quite a gut bomb. It's not something. A couple of these is going to meet at least like half of your daily caloric needs while not giving you too much nutrition. No, my sinuses are still pretty clear. I'm not really getting much of a reaction to this one. I kind of think my hop reaction is towards certain varietals of hops. I need to go and figure it out. The hopping doesn't quite show in the top note. It's much more the malts that show in the top note. Those rich caramel toffee notes. Yeah. Oh, and it's decided to go and so yeah. This camera of mine, I definitely need to replace it, but it's like, what can I replace it with? It seems like the bottom end of the webcam market has fallen out. You either use your cell phone nowadays, which I am hesitant to use for a lot of reasons. I'm just really more comfortable doing it this old-fashioned way. So, like a lot of the webcams now are very high-end YouTuber webcams, which, while I would love to own, is far outside of my purchasing power. Yeah. So I think if you actually drink craft beer, you know what Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot is. Well, unless you're from another country. If you're from North America, you know what this is. You've probably already had it. It is probably the easiest barley wine to find, particularly in the months of January through April. It's also one of the cheapest barley wines. And I believe this was about $15 for a sixer. I don't think barley wines come any cheaper than this. It is West Coast style, so it's going to be hopped heavily. But as a barley wine, the malt body will be on pure with it. It will balance perfectly. Because of the heavy hopping, though, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult to find good food to pair it with. Heavily hopped beers, I kind of think, the West Coast style really bitter bombs. I think it's kind of difficult to go and find food to go and pair with it successfully. But that is more a me issue than other people issue, because I know plenty of people who find a lot of things to go and pair it with. So yeah, if you haven't, give this one a shot. If you're one of my viewers who lives abroad, whether it's in Asia or Oceania or Europe, don't think I have anyone from like Africa or South America watching this. If you see this on the shelf, give it a shot, because it's one of those ones that's going to be able to sit on the shelf. And while it won't be the same as it's fresh, you'll still get a very interesting, complex beer. You know, Granted, as long as it's not been sitting for like years and years and years on the shelf. And that is your Barleywine review for this evening, folks. Cheers.